Hello and welcome to Moment of Truth on Labour Social. I'm Graham Hughes. Privately educated car salesman Nigel Farage has been telling porkies again, while Farage, the living embodiment of a wet, scratchy, nicotine-stained sofa from the 1970s, had been dumped on a layby of the A1M, was running around telling everyone who'd listen, and that includes the dimly lit morgue that is LBC's Ian Dale, and surprise, surprise, the front cover of today's Daily Mail, the paper for people who've given up on ever seeing their grandchildren again, that he's been the victim, I tells you, of a vile witch hunt by a bank which didn't want his custom. According to the bollock-faced foghorn of ignorance, they told him to sling his hook because of his political beliefs. Maybe like the belief that he should have a German passport and remain a citizen of the EU, retaining all of the perks such as being able to live, work and retire in 31 other countries, no questions asked, whilst simultaneously convincing over 17 million numpties that they should burn their own children's birthrights in front of their stupid, crying faces because of bendy bananas or some such shite. As such, Farage alleges serious political persecution by an anti-Brexit banking industry. The industry he was a small part of before he decided it was a better grift to become a career politician. Now, there's an argument to be made that banks couldn't really give a toss about people's political opinions. They just want money. The clue is in the name. But then again, Farage has cost British banks, in particular, billions of pounds worth of headaches through his monstrous Brexit scheme, after over £1 trillion worth of assets had to be moved out of London to more secure locations, such as Dublin, Paris and Amsterdam, locations where a significant proportion of the population don't necessarily go weak at the knees and a plummy, privately educated voice and the self-confidence that goes with being born into the grasping, groping and ladder-kicking classes, unlike in England and Wales, where at least 17 million of us love nothing more than to dance monkey dance for the amusement of the rich. Brexit, eh? How's that working out? Anyway, many of us were hoping that the $500,000 it's assumed he was paid for the countless appearances on the now banned propaganda outfit Russia Today was what led him to be given his marching orders. However, it has now emerged that the reality is that Farage simply fell below the financial threshold to hold an account at Coutts. You see, Coutts Bank requires customers to borrow or invest £1 million or hold $3 million in savings. He was offered a standard account at NatWest, which owns Coutts, but of course he turned that down, as those kind of banks are just for the little people, not ex-city bankers who some people have said hounded the pilot of the plane that crashed with him inside it to actual suicide. Look it up. And the twats around the south coast pointing at tutting at women and children in small boats desperately seeking the safe harbour they were promised when the greatest generation signed up to the UN Declaration of Human Rights. His claim that the offer of a personal NatWest account is not useful for him as he operates through a business is as bizarre as it is a tacit admission that there's something funny going on. NatWest offers a range of business accounts. That's not the problem here. Farage claims to have been turned down by 9 other lenders, but as you can't believe a word that falls out of the disgusting hole that passes for his gob, I'll take that statement with a pinch of salt, mostly since he has acknowledged not meeting Coutts' threshold, and if those other banks rejected him, it would be due to him being a politically exposed person, or PEP. Being a PEP poses a higher risk for financial institutions in relation to bribery and corruption. The morons at the Treasury are apparently concerned about the denial of financial services to those exercising free speech. Some might say a euphemism for being funded by the Russians. And have asked the Financial Conduct Authority to review banks' treatment of PEPs. Meanwhile, Londongrad continues to be the money laundering capital of the world. Priorities, priorities. It's worth pointing out that we live in a capitalist democracy and no one has a God-given right to anything really, not even a bank account with a bank that doesn't want you as a customer. Anyway, the hope remains that he wasn't lying about one thing: having to leave the country. Goodbye, Nigel. Don't let the door to your sugar daddy's private jet hit your arse on the way out.